My husband and cousin's hidden affair tore my family apart, shattering my heart. But I crafted a brilliant plan to outsmart them, protect my future, and reclaim my dignity, emerging stronger than ever in a comeback that left everyone speechless. "You're not going to believe this, Joel," I whispered, my voice trembling as I clutched my phone in the dim light of the guest bedroom. "I just saw something I wasn't supposed to see. My name is Hazel, and I'm 32 years old. I'm not the kind of person who thrives on drama, honestly. I'd rather spend my evenings curled up with a book than deal with family chaos. But last Thanksgiving, during what was supposed to be a perfect family reunion at my parents' sprawling house, my world turned upside down. What started as a warm, laughter-filled gathering ended with a secret that tore at the seams of my marriage and forced me to make choices I never imagined I'd face. Let me set the scene. My parents' house is one of those big, cozy homes with a wraparound porch and a backyard that stretches into a wooded area. Every year, our extended family gathers there for Thanksgiving, a tradition that's been going strong since I was a kid. This time, it was extra special because my husband, Joel, and I had been married for 5 years, and we'd just bought our first house. I was excited to show off pictures and soak in the holiday glow with my family. Joel is 34, charming, and the kind of guy who can make anyone laugh. He's a high school history teacher, always quick with a joke or a story about some obscure war nobody's heard of. But he's also private, almost guarded, about certain parts of his life. I always chalked it up to him being an introvert at heart. We'd had our ups and downs, like any couple, but I thought we were solid. Then there's my cousin, Ella, 28, who's basically the opposite of me. She's loud, confident, and always the center of attention. Ella's a freelance graphic designer, perpetually single, and has a knack for stirring the pot without meaning to, or maybe she does mean to. I love her, but she's exhausting. Her older brother, Vincent, 31, is quieter but sharp, the kind of guy who notices everything. He's a software engineer and always seems to know more than he lets on. My parents are the glue of the family. Dad's a retired mechanic with a booming laugh, and Mom's a former nurse who still fusses over everyone like we're all patients. They love hosting, and this Thanksgiving was no exception. The house was packed with aunts, uncles, cousins, and a few family friends, including Aunt Clara and Uncle Ted, who always bring their famous pecan pie and a knack for asking nosy questions. The trouble started on the second day of the reunion. The first day was perfect: turkey, mashed potatoes, and Mom's legendary stuffing. We played board games, swapped stories, and laughed until our sides hurt. But on Friday, while most of the family was out Black Friday shopping or napping off the food coma, I stayed behind to help Mom clean up. Joel said he was going for a walk in the backyard to clear his head. I didn't think much of it, until I saw something that made my stomach drop. I was in the kitchen, wiping down counters, when I glanced out the window. There, near the edge of the woods, I saw Joel and Ella standing close, too close. They weren't just talking. He was leaning in, his hand brushing her arm, and she was smiling in a way that wasn't cousinly. My heart started pounding. I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe it was just a friendly moment, a joke I didn't hear. But then I saw her lean up and kiss him. Not a peck, a real kiss. And he didn't pull away. I froze, the dish rag slipping from my hand. My mind raced. Was this real? Had I missed something? Joel and I had been together for 7 years, married for 5. Sure, we'd had arguments, mostly about money or how much time he spent grading papers instead of with me, but an affair? With my cousin? It felt like a punch to the gut. I didn't confront them right then. I couldn't. My body felt heavy, like I was moving through water. Instead, I went upstairs to the guest bedroom, locked the door, and called Vincent. He's always been the one I turn to when things get messy. He's level-headed and doesn't sugarcoat things. "Vincent, I need you to come back to the house," I said, my voice shaking. "I just saw Joel and Ella, together. Like, together. He was quiet for a second, then said, "Hazel, are you sure? That's a big accusation." "I know what I saw," I snapped. "Please, just get here." Vincent promised to be back in 20 minutes. While I waited, I sat on the bed, replaying every interaction between Joel and Ella over the years. Had there been signs? Ella had always been flirty, but I thought it was just her personality. And Joel, he'd been distant lately, but I blamed work stress. Now, every late-night grading papers felt like a lie. When Vincent arrived, he sat with me in the guest room and listened as I spilled everything. His jaw tightened, but he didn't interrupt. When I finished, he said, "Okay, Hazel, you need to be smart about this. Don't confront them yet. If this is real, you need proof. And you need to protect yourself." "Protect myself?" I asked, wiping tears from my cheeks. "If Joel's cheating, this could get messy," Vincent said. "You just bought a house together. You need to think about finances, your future. And Ella, she's family. This is going to blow up." He was right. The affair was bad enough, but the fallout would be worse. Ella was my cousin, and our family was tight-knit. If I called her out, it could fracture everything. And Joel, how long had this been going on? Was it just a fling, or was it something more? I felt betrayed, humiliated, but also angry. I wasn't going to let them ruin me. That's when another problem reared its head. Aunt Clara, who'd been eavesdropping outside the guest room, overheard part of my conversation with Vincent. She didn't hear everything, just enough to get the wrong idea. By dinner that night, she was whispering to Uncle Ted, who told Mom, who pulled me aside in the kitchen. "Hazel, is something going on with you and Joel?" Mom asked, her face full of worry. "Clara said she heard you talking about trouble." I wanted to scream. The last thing I needed was the family gossip mill churning before I had a plan. "It's nothing, Mom," I lied. "Just a misunderstanding." But it wasn't nothing. The whispers spread, and by the next morning, I could feel eyes on me during breakfast. Joel, oblivious, was his usual charming self, joking with Dad about football. Ella, though, avoided my gaze. I wondered if she knew I'd seen them. Vincent's advice stuck with me: get proof. So, I started paying attention. I checked Joel's phone when he was in the shower, not my proudest moment, but desperation does that to you. I found a string of texts between him and Ella, going back months. They weren't explicit, but they were flirty, with late-night messages and inside jokes I didn't understand. One text from Ella said, "Can't wait to see you at Thanksgiving. Miss you." My hand shook as I read it. I took screenshots and sent them to myself, then deleted the evidence from his phone so he wouldn't suspect anything. Vincent helped me dig deeper. He suggested checking Ella's social media for clues, and sure enough, I found a photo from a work trip she'd posted a few months back. The background matched a hotel Joel had stayed at for a teaching conference. It wasn't hard proof, but it was enough to make me sick. The family tension wasn't the only problem. The house Joel and I had bought was a joint investment, and we'd taken out a big mortgage. If we split up, I'd be stuck with payments I couldn't afford alone. I'd worked hard as a marketing coordinator to build a stable life, and now it felt like it was crumbling. I needed a way to confront Joel and Ella without losing everything. Vincent had an idea. "Hazel, you're smart. Use the family dynamic to your advantage. Ella cares about her reputation, she won't want to be the villain. And Joel, he's a people pleaser. If you call them out privately but firmly, they'll back down." I decided to confront them after the reunion, when we were back home. But first, I had to get through the rest of the weekend without losing, including a big family game night on Saturday. I put on a fake smile, but inside, I was a wreck. Every time Joel touched my hand or Ella laughed at one of his jokes, I wanted to scream. The day after I saw Joel and Ella in the backyard, the house felt like a pressure cooker. I wasn't the only one hiding something. There was another issue brewing that made everything feel even more claustrophobic. My Aunt Clara, always the family detective, had started asking pointed questions about Vincent's new job. He'd recently taken a high-paying tech gig in another state, and rumors were swirling that he was planning to move away permanently. Dad, who'd always seen Vincent as the son he never had, was visibly upset but wouldn't talk about it. During lunch, Clara brought it up in front of everyone, saying, "Vincent, are you really going to leave us all behind for some fancy job?" The table went silent. Vincent's face reddened, and he mumbled something about exploring options. I could tell he was hurt, but I was too consumed with my own drama to check on him. Looking back, I wish I'd reached out. It might have helped me feel less alone in my mess. But at the time, the family's unspoken rule of avoiding tough conversations kept us all on edge, and it only made my secret feel heavier. Later that afternoon, while everyone was distracted by a football game blaring in the living room, I slipped into the attic to clear my head. The attic was my childhood hideout, filled with dusty boxes and old photo albums. I found one from 10 years ago, back when Joel and I were just dating. There was a picture of us at a county fair, my head on his shoulder, his grin wide and unguarded. We were so young, 22 and 24, full of dreams about building a life together. I remembered how he'd spent his last $10 to win me a stuffed bear at a ring toss game. That Joel felt like a stranger now. Sitting there, surrounded by memories, I wondered when things had started to shift. Had I been too focused on work? Had we stopped talking about the things that mattered? The questions gnawed at me, but they didn't change what he'd done. Still, that moment in the attic made me realize I wasn't just grieving the betrayal, I was grieving the version of us I thought we'd always be. By Saturday morning, the family tension had spilled over into smaller arguments. Mom snapped at Dad for forgetting to buy extra cranberry sauce, and Uncle Ted made a snide comment about how kids these days don't value family. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, trying to act normal while my heart was breaking. During a quiet moment, I overheard Vincent talking to Ella in the hallway. He was confronting her, not about Joel, but about her reckless behavior in general. "You're always pushing boundaries, Ella," he said. "One day, it's going to catch up with you." She laughed it off, but her voice was shaky. I wondered if Vincent suspected something about her and Joel. It was a fleeting moment, but it planted a seed of hope that I wasn't entirely alone in this. Maybe Vincent's sharp instincts could help me navigate the fallout, even if I wasn't ready to tell him everything yet. That night, during the family game night, I noticed something else that added to my unease. Marcus, Joel's older brother, kept glancing at me with a worried expression. Marcus and I had always gotten along. He'd been the one to encourage Joel to propose to me years ago. But now, his looks felt like he knew something. Had Joel confided in him? Or was I just paranoid? I cornered Marcus in the kitchen while grabbing more snacks and asked, "Is everything okay? You seem off." He hesitated, then said, "Just check in with Joel, Hazel. He's been weird lately." My stomach twisted. Marcus didn't elaborate, but his words confirmed what I already feared. Joel's betrayal wasn't as hidden as he thought. It was another crack in the facade, and it made me even more determined to take control of the situation before it spiraled further. On Sunday, before everyone left, I pulled Ella aside in the garage, where no one could overhear. My heart was racing, but I kept my voice steady. "Ella, I know about you and Joel," I said. "I saw you in the backyard, and I have the texts. I'm giving you one chance to come clean before I tell the family." Her face went pale. "Hazel, it's not what you think," she stammered. "It was a mistake, a one-time thing." "I swear." "A one-time thing?" I said, holding up my phone with the screenshots. "These go back months. Don't lie to me." She started crying, but I didn't feel sorry for her. "I'm telling Joel tonight," I said. "And if you don't want Mom and Dad to know, you'd better figure out how to make this right." That night, back at our house, I sat Joel down in the living room. I didn't yell or cry, I was calm, which I think scared him more. "Joel, I know about you and Ella," I said. "I have proof. I want the truth, and I want to know what you're going to do about it." He looked like he'd been slapped. For a second, I thought he'd deny it, but then he broke down. "Hazel, I'm so sorry," he said. "It started last summer, when I was helping Ella with her portfolio. It was stupid, and I didn't mean for it to go this far." "Didn't mean for it to go this far?" I said. "You kissed her in my parents' backyard. You texted her behind my back for months. What did you think would happen?" He didn't have an answer. I told him I needed space and that he should stay with his brother, Marcus, for a while. Marcus, 36, is a divorced accountant who's always been protective of me. I knew he'd have my back. Over the next few weeks, I worked with a lawyer to protect my finances. Vincent helped me find a good one, and we made sure the house stayed in my name if Joel and I divorced. I also started therapy, which helped me process the betrayal. Ella called me, begging for forgiveness, and promised to stay away from Joel. I didn't trust her, but I told her I'd keep it quiet as long as she kept her distance from the family for a while. Joel moved out, and we started marriage counseling. I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay with him, but I wanted to understand why he'd done it. In therapy, he admitted he'd felt trapped by our routine and that Ella's attention made him feel alive. It hurt to hear, but it also made me realize I deserved better than someone who'd throw away our life for a thrill. By spring, I'd made a decision. I told Joel I wanted a divorce. He didn't fight it, he knew he'd lost me. We sold the house, and I used my share to buy a smaller place, a cozy condo that felt like mine. I got a promotion at work, and I started rebuilding my life. The family drama faded, though Ella still avoids me at gatherings. I'm okay with that. Looking back, I'm proud of how I handled it. I didn't let anger consume me, and I protected what mattered, my future. But sometimes I wonder, did I do the right thing by keeping it quiet from the family? Should I have confronted Ella and Joel in front of everyone? And for those of you listening, what would you have done? Was divorce the best move, or should I have given Joel another chance? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Life's messy, and betrayal cuts deep, but I've learned that forgiveness doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. It means choosing to move forward, stronger than before. And I'm doing just that.
Appreciate you watching. Give it a like, hit subscribe, and catch more drama next time.